Poetry means the world to me. Not only because of the concept of poetry itself, but the fact that I'm able to connect it with my love for hip hop. I grew up listening to hip hop because my brother and my cousins were all rappers in their teenage years, and still now, kind of. I grew up forcefully listening to Jay-Z, Eminem, Nas, DMX, Ja Rule, real like gritty shit, and as I grew older, I was like, let me try this, let me see how I do with it. Because I've always really been a writer. I've always written stories. Even as a kid, I would tell my parents to buy me notebooks, and I would fill out 2 pages and be like, I need more. Give me more. I just wanted so much more for me. Even as a kid, I knew this is what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. It wasn't until I was about 14 that I realized I like to write poetry. It's fun. And I would use the whole A-B rhyme scheme. As I grew older, however, I was told that that A-B rhyme scheme isn't always going to work. And I mean, they're right, but at the same time, that's how I write. I like for myself to rhyme and still make sense. It wasn't really until 2009 when I wrote a poem for my niece who was just born that my parents were like, wow, that's really good. That was, I think, one of the first things they ever saw from me. Aside from my 8th grade project on the Holocaust, where I had to write a series of poems for my teacher, and she loved them too. That's when I was like, all right, stuff is gonna happen for me. She even actually kept them, I heard. After I graduated, during my high school years, I would write, but I would never really share them with anyone, just because people weren't going to take me serious. People were always going to laugh at me, regardless of what I did or what I said, and just for basically existing, people were making fun of me, and it was really sucky feeling for 4 years. I graduated high school, and I started to write so much more. The heartbreaks I endured, the leading on, the jokes about my disability, things that I couldn't really control myself. And then I started writing more and more and more about the men in my life who would leave with no explanation, or would leave me with unanswered questions. And recently people have been calling me Taylor Swift. The only difference between us is that I don't use names in my poems or stories. I like to keep that part of the situation private, really. But in the last year, I've noticed that writing really is my calling, and I've received so much support from so many people. I've done poetry readings at school. People come up to me still and they're like, wow, that poem was amazing. My first poetry reading, I did a poem about how my brother is an alcoholic, which is Superman. That got so much recognition, and people were crying. People came up to me still, like I said, still at school. That was amazing. You did a good job. I can relate. I was they'll tell me that I was an alcoholic. My mom or my cousin or whatever. It was people that were coming up to me that were able to feel what I was feeling about my brother going through that situation. And then again with Cruel Intentions. That poem, really, it was out of anger that I wrote it, but people saw it as like a I'm here, I'm not leaving, you guys made me who I am type of thing. And it's true, those people that doubted me, still doubting me, are the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today. I write to show people that I've become stronger, that I've been through so much. I'm a really relatable person when it comes to writing, and I know that people can see that when they read my stuff or hear my stuff, because I've been recording videos a lot more often than I used to before, because I'm more comfortable with people hearing my stuff now. It's amazing the amount of support I've gotten from my family and my friends. They didn't think I was, they didn't know this secret that I was hiding, really, because it was more of a secret. I never liked showing my stuff off, but now whenever I finish something, I'm like, I have to show someone. So that's why I put them on Instagram or on Twitter or Tumblr or Facebook and now YouTube. So this is kind of really like my thank you to everyone that's supported me and really believed in me within the last month or two, because without you guys I probably wouldn't have been able to do this. And it means so much to me that you guys can provide me with feedback really on how you feel about these poems that I'm writing and short stories, because I do this for you guys. You know, you guys have helped me realize what I'm worth, and you guys help me create experiences for what I write, and I can't wait to share this with the rest of the world, and I can't wait for people to see what I'm capable of, just like you guys have. So thank you, and it means a lot to me. Keep supporting Red Lipstick and hip hop.